What do we have now?
Okay, so the triple play is back. You can either buy it once with COD points, or you can earn it by getting 100 wins in multiplayer. Be right back, I'm gonna go get 100 wins. Whew, it was hard to get those 100 wins. Totally wasn't pressured into buying it.
It's very hard.
There we go. So on PlayStation, I still don't have, let's see, whatever that is, the PPSH and the AK-74U. I have all the ARs, I have all the shotguns, I have all the LMGs. I don't have the RSA. I don't have the M1911. I have all the launchers. I have all of the melee weapons, surprisingly. Look at that. Disgusting. And I don't have the disc launcher. I guess I'm just gonna open up the drops and then see if I can get something good from the ranged weapon bribe. Damn everything.
Yeah, sweet brecci camo.
I'm curious to see if this triple play thing is actually gonna be worth it. Let's do the daily double.
We're making a gate.
Oh, yes.
2 KRM camos. Oh my gosh, that's so epic.
At least I got a dinosaur decal. I'm so blessed to get these Inferno camos. Well, this is it. Let's go for the ranged weapon bribe.
Yeah.
Okay, it's the PPSH. It could have definitely been worse. Wait, double XP just on Nuketown and Skyjacked? And they're calling it Nukejacked? Okay. But to be honest, this really has nothing to do with the main point of what I want to talk about in this video. I actually wanted to talk about some new secret DLC content that could be coming to Modern Warfare Remastered. Now, as we all know by now, MWR's subreddit is where most of this information is leaked, whether it's pictures or screenshots, animations, all kinds of stuff. There are people on the subreddit that have been known to leak different things. But the information that I found isn't necessarily new, it's just very rare. And it actually comes from Call of Duty 4's pre-alpha. This doesn't really feel or sound like a PPSH. Oh my god. Ah! Oh my god, I got him too! Oh my god. No! Oh, one more.
Light shot in the back!
Oh, I could have had a... that would have been such an easy quad. I don't know, I've always liked the PPSH. It doesn't feel that good though. Maybe I just need attachments? I don't have anything on it right now. There you go, buddy. You gonna go for it? Oh, he smacked him! I got you, bro. Oh no! Oh, okay, he scored it. What? Die. I'm killing it.
This thing's pay to win.
Think you can just sneak by? You think you can just sneak by? That was incredibly close. So I've already known for a while that Call of Duty 4 had a lot of cut or canceled content. Ben has sent me unused voice lines from Captain McMillan. Oh dear. Oh no, should have been more.
Here is your laundry. It sure looks heavy. Oh, that is heavy. Must be good. What do you mean it's not Scottish? Well, if it's not Scottish, it's crap. These MREs are tasty. I can feel the hair on my chest growing already. Damn, my tinfoil hat's come loose. I've lost my connection to the mothership.
I don't remember if I've talked about this before, but there's also been cut game modes that made it into later Call of Duty games. If I'm not mistaken, Blitz and Cranked were actually game modes that were cut from Call of Duty 4, which is insane to think.
Domination. Free-for-all. Gridiron. Hardcore free-for-all. Hardcore. High speed. Old school. Sabotage. Search and destroy. Tactical. Team deathmatch. Team hardcore. Hardcore team deathmatch. Capture the flag. Headquarters. King of the Hill.
But sure enough, there's even way more content than just that. Some of which was used in later games like Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1 Ghosts. There's some content that was just completely scrapped and will never see the light of day. But the thing that's really interesting is that some of this cut content has actually made its way into Modern Warfare Remastered. Get your brecci out of here.
Get the fuck out of the... What the fuck is happening in this match, you idiots?
Oh my... Fuck yourself. Oh no! I need extended mag so bad. Oh my god, this one.
I gotcha.
Okay, so what I actually want to do is go through this entire list of all the cut content. I looked everywhere and I did everything I could to try to get a like pre-alpha build of Call of Duty 4. I just don't know how. I think it's nearly impossible. But yeah, I'm gonna go through this entire list and we're gonna try to see if there's some content in here that might actually make its way into MWR. So the first thing on this list is the AG-36. Now this is actually a grenade launcher attachment for the G36C that has been scrapped. They just decided to put the M203 on instead. This in particular is not that important. It probably won't be in the game at all. But this next one is very interesting. It's called the AW-50. And no, it's not the sequel to Advanced Warfare 49. If you actually look up pictures of the AW-50, you can actually see how it looks a lot like the M40. It also kind of looks similar to the AWP from Counter-Strike. The actual in-game image from COD 4 actually looks a lot like the L96 from Black Ops 1 with like a suppressor on the end. The reason I found this particularly interesting is because a lot of people have been waiting for a bolt-action sniper rifle to be added into the game. I think if anything, it would probably end up being this weapon right here, but we'll just have to wait and see. This is really cool and I found this out. Apparently the AT-4, which we know from Modern Warfare 2, was actually in COD 4. It would have been an alternative to the RPG perk in COD 4, but it just ended up getting scrapped. As you can imagine, it really wouldn't have had a lot of use in COD 4. It would have been just as useful as the RPG, but the AT-4 has a lot more use in Modern Warfare 2 because they had so many different kill streaks. Now, apparently the MAC-10 was in COD 4's pre-alpha, and sure enough, they ended up adding in the MAC-10 to MWR, so this does kind of validate that they might add more weapons like this in the future. But at the same time, it does have weapons like the MG42 from Call of Duty 2. I don't know exactly what that's about, but it's probably not going to make it into MWR. They were apparently HUD icons for sticky bombs and thermite, which is crazy to think because you have stuff like that in Black Ops 3. Wait, the M21 has an unused scope reticle. Oh, that would have actually been really cool. They should have kept that. They should add that into MWR if they can. Now, reading reading this really bugs me because I would have loved to have a perk like this in COD 4. They could still add it into MWR, but I think that would throw off the balance a little bit. There was apparently a cut blue tier perk called Expose Enemy. It says here that it may have been replaced by the UAV kill streak. We don't have a definitive description of what Expose Enemy might have done, but I feel like it would have been a direct counter to UAV Jammer. If that were the case, all you'd have to do is put this perk on, and next thing you know, UAV Jammer doesn't work. I would love to have that. Now, I'm not going to go through this entire next list because, well, it's pretty much all cut missions from the game, but it is very interesting. Apparently, some of these early Call of Duty 4 pre-alpha missions were ambitious enough to actually let you drive tanks and pilot helicopters, which in 2007 would have been insane. That would have been huge for Call of Duty if they actually pushed through. Some of these cut missions that are worth pointing out is Cobra Pilot. I don't have gameplay of it, but if you look at these screenshots, it looks like a gunship from Black Ops 1. This cut mission called Descent would have actually allowed players to have like a camera. So in Call of Duty 4, you would have been able to like run around with a camera, and you had to take out certain targets and then photograph them to get their ID. What this kind of reminds me of is the portable cameras from Black Ops 1 that you could just plant in the multiplayer. I know it's not exactly the same, but that's probably the closest thing to it. There's one called Helicopter Ride. Apparently this mission existed 11 months before the game was even released. Based off of the minimap here, this actually looks like an early concept for the mission Shock and Awe. Apparently there's a mission that was cut called Immediate Action that had breaching like in Modern Warfare 2's missions, and it looks like you had to try to rescue and secure hostages. This kind of stuff just blows my mind. It's really surreal to see how much content was put into Call of Duty 4 and then reused later in other games. It really just goes to show how inspiring Call of Duty 4 was. This is apparently a thing too. There was a mission called Parabolic that got cut. The details of this mission are really not that important. What is important to know is that there was going to be a parabolic microphone attachment in the game. And I'm not sure if everyone knows this, but the parabolic microphone was actually first introduced in Advanced Warfare. It was used in the multiplayer to be a direct counter to suppressors in the game, but in COD 4 it would have been completely different. It looks like you would have just clicked sprint. These missions, it would raise the volume of the conversations of the people that you would be trying to listen to. So most likely it would have been some kind of sniper stealth mission. There's other cut missions as well, like Strike, Rivertown, Zipline, Wetwork, and Art Gallery, but there's not a lot of details about these missions other than their file name. But that's what's so interesting about some of these missions, because these 5 aren't even playable. However, there's people who have gotten access to Call of Duty 4's pre-alpha build, and they've been playing the missions. I would kill to be able to play these missions, man. I just really want more content from COD 4. Some other pretty cool stuff is that in 2007, Gaz was actually originally named Griggs. And trust me, there is loads of other cut or canceled content on this page. But right now, I want to talk about the multiplayer maps that were cut from COD 4, because these would have been really cool, and they might actually find their way into Modern Warfare Remastered at some point. 4 of which I want to point out are Ambush Night, District Night, Overgrown Night, and Strike Night. All 4 of these maps would have been night versions of the existing maps that were in COD 4 and the remaster. So why am I bringing this up? As we all know, there's a feature that's completely unique to Call of Duty 4's multiplayer, which was night vision goggles. And they really don't have a lot of use on the existing COD 4 maps. However, if they actually did put these night maps into the multiplayer, night vision goggles would have actually been useful. They would have had a lot more purpose and use in multiplayer. And I think it would be really cool to see these maps at some point. Released for free, obviously, because these are the same maps, just nighttime. Similar to how we got Winter Crash and Daybreak. Who knows, maybe we could be seeing these maps at some point. There's obviously a lot of other maps that were cut from COD 4 that I'll point out right now. Here we have Cell Block, which would have been very similar to Vacant, except it would have taken place in a jail. I think having another map like Vacant would have been pretty cool. There's this map called Dusk, which to me is very similar to Bog. And for some reason in 2011, Robert Bowling actually had said that the map was decent, but it wasn't stellar, which is why it never made the cut. There were no good routes, and all of the fighting ended up in the center of the map. What does that remind you of? Does it sound like Bog Hill? This map called Facility is apparently very similar to Modern Warfare 2's map Fuel, and I can see why. Judging from that picture, it looks gigantic and awful. Sure enough, Call of Duty 4 had a map called Favela. Does that sound familiar? If it does, it's actually because it was cut from the Variety map pack in Call of Duty 4 and later released in Modern Warfare 2. And they brought it into Call of Duty Ghosts as well. Now this cut map called Forest I think is actually playable on modded servers on PC. I think I've actually played freeze tag on the map Forest on COD 4 on PC, which was actually pretty fun and interesting, but I don't think it would suit like regular multiplayer. It's very much laid out in such a way that it would make you think of playing like paintball. It's a very open map. Think of having another map like Wasteland from MW2. That's most likely how it would have played out. It would have been very open and dominated by snipers. There was a scrapped map called Hill, which was just like a portion of the mission Heat. Apparently the map Invasion from Modern Warfare 2 was actually supposed to be part of the Variety map pack as well for COD 4. Dang, the Variety map pack would have been so good if they actually just kept all these maps. Now this map called Mansion was apparently scrapped, but I've played this before on PC. Custom servers actually run this map. It's very small. It's actually very good for hitting clips and going for feeds because there's really tight spaces. It's a very small map. It has really good choke points. It's actually a lot like Shipment. Maybe not nearly as hectic, but when you have like 48 players on PC playing, it can get pretty crazy. And apparently the cut map Palace is actually just a bigger version of Mansion. If Mansion is playable on PC, then I could assume that this is as well, but I haven't actually played it, so I don't don't really have too much to say about this map. And there's 2 other maps called Rooftops and Suburbs, but there's really nothing too crazy about these. It's also pretty crazy to see that in the game files, there were even controllable like helicopters, tanks, and AC-130s for multiplayer. I know this video is pretty random and all over the place, but I really wanted to share this information with you guys. A couple nights ago, I was up pretty late and I was browsing and looking at this stuff, and I just could not stop looking at it. For me, at least, all of this information was very fascinating, and I wanted to share it with you guys, especially because some of this could actually be upcoming DLC for MWR. But yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did and you'd like to actually see some of this content come to MWR, make sure to drop a like. I'll see you guys later.
Motherfucker!